excited to have you. So I've talked to Peter before. This is actually my first time virtually meeting Ari. So Ari, this is like a pleasure for me because ever since I've been in Chicago, I've been hearing about what you're doing. And so I'm so excited to dig into it some more. But can you guys tell me a little bit about, I know that there's a long story about how you guys met, but tell me a little bit about what you guys are currently working on right now and the two businesses that you have.
Oh man, do you want to take a stab at that?
Sure, I'll go first. We have three main businesses, I guess I could say. It does get fun because we kind of get, not bored is not the right word, but we just like to keep doing new things and expanding all the time. So there's our main company, which handles essentially digital marketing for local startups, funded startups, women entrepreneurs, and the like. That's what we love. It's usually the one-off projects and stuff like that. Then we have Chykalophia Academy. That is our training platform, which we're still growing out, and it's been a while to get it going, but it's getting there. And that's where all our training books, audios, videos, podcast stuff is all essentially going through.
Okay, and what kind of training?
For now, and it's starting off, it's going to be nerdy training. How can a regular Joe Schmo like you and I, let's say we're not programmers, we can just go through the training very logically, no BS, down to earth. And that was my biggest problem because all the video trainings I found about nerdy things, especially how to set up a WordPress website. From A to Z. Some people go through it. Some people somehow spend 5 hours on it, on those videos, and just ramble on and on. And like, okay, installing WordPress takes about 5 minutes. Here's what you exactly need to know. Click this button, do that, done.
Oh my gosh.
And none of the BS.
I love.
And that's my goal for Chykalophia Academy. Yeah.
That's
and then
awesome.
there is, after all that, the front of most of what we're doing, because I kind of like to be the back end guy. So the front of everything we're doing, including Chykalophia Academy and predominantly CWC, which stands for
Creative Women's Co.
I forgot what it's called. Yes, Creative Women's Co.
We sometimes try and find the 30-second clip that is going to be the highlight that lives evergreen, and that might be the clip that we use.
Oh my God, no.
So,
but I will tell you guys.
What was that?
Yeah, you were gonna say something. Sorry, I cut you off.
So no, Creative Women's Co. That is something that again, once I kind of got my feet wet in the creative space, especially in Chicago, I just kept seeing Creative Women's Co. all over the place. So how long has it been around?
Oh my gosh. I think this year we're actually turning 3, which is amazing. And it basically just started off as a very casual meetup group, right? We started off as a meetup at meetup.com platform. And Peter was actually just kind of told me, hey, Ari, if you just kind of keep complaining, saying that you can't do this networking thing because it kind of awkward, or it was really hard to connect with people in a bigger settings, more than 50 people in a room. It was really exhausting for me. And I just feel I don't really have the guts to cut people off in a conversation and stuff like that. And he just basically, why don't you just make your own? I was like, yeah, right. I'm going to make my own networking events. But I did take the challenge. So now it just grew into something that I feel has a little bit more purpose, right? It connects creative women here in Chicago with others who just want to, one, either be surrounded by creative women, or 2, they are looking to connect with other creative women who wants to collaborate with each other. So we focus mainly on the intimate events because I feel once you get to know people in just a very smaller setting, you just feel you're not meeting with random people. You actually meet with people that you can actually work together maybe in the future, or maybe I don't know, have a coffee date. And then you feel having this relationship and then actually cultivating it together. So yeah, that's basically CWC.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. So I'm sure quite a bit of thought went into naming the community, but it's interesting to me that you went with just Creative Women Co. because you're really highlighting the women aspect of it, the fact that they had that creative identity, and it doesn't sound or smell like a lot of the business centered communities that are popping up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Technically, though, the first time we named the CWC was actually Creative Women's Conversations because we just want to chat. That's basically it. But then it got really hard just like saying the whole thing when we talk like creative women's conversation. It's just like, okay, let's just cut it. Let's cut it, just like make it focusing more on the creative woman, and then just like, okay, we're just gonna call it Creative Women's Code. That's it. It could be collaborative. It could be community. It could be collaboration. Oh, I think I already mentioned that. Or conversation. One of those. So
I love that.
That's how we code.
Oh, that's such a cool way of just like saying co is not really an abbreviation for what you think it is, and or it can mean all this other stuff. That's so neat. So I have to just ask, can men come to Creative Women's Co things?
Oh yeah, totally. These guys can at some of the events, I think. Yeah. So honestly, we're not super exclusive for women because I feel like I just want to open it for whoever wants to feel like they want to get to know other creative women in the area, or just want to be surrounded by us. I feel like there is a certain power that we have when we get together, whether it's like through a panel event or like cocktails and conversation, or even the other events that we have is actually speed mentoring event. Those are open for men and women. Honestly, it doesn't have to be just women.
Cool. That makes me feel good.
You can come too.
Thanks. Awesome. I'll be there with you, Peter. And I think it's really interesting. From the conversations that I've had with Peter and following you, I love the give and take between the two of you, because I can tell that you guys both kind of have a creative edge, but you also have kind of complementary skills and talents. And I could tell right away that Peter, I kind of see myself as somewhat of like a techie geek nerd, but like Peter runs laps around me when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then Ari, I mean, your dedication to kind of building that sense of community, are you guys kind of very aware of the fact that you guys are kind of coming together and the whole is better than the sum of the parts?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
For example, I would love, for example, just for if men had a smaller community just like that, because there is a divide. Maybe that's the right word, but there is a difference in men networking and women networking, just kind of how they talk. Right. So all the men-oriented or generalized networking events are huge, and I like being out in front, but only in a scripted, safe, one of those safe space things. I hate that word, but one of those types of things for that I'm just comfortable in. And big events with a lot of new people, it's like I can walk up to them with a beer and say, "How's the weather?" Okay, and I'm out of material.
Yeah.
Things I can do. And so I figured that I'm good with the task-oriented things. I'm good with the back-end, the strategy, the moral support. And so at least on that part, she's the whole front of it, because I can't do it. So if she just did business by herself, she'd probably get lost in all the back-end and technical things and mini details. And if I tried to do that by myself, I'd probably, I don't know.
Exhausted. Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes in a large networking room and I want to go crawl under a rock because like, okay, too many people.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. But it's interesting. I feel like if I go to a general business networking event, Peter, I very much am like you, where it's like, if you're from where I went to, if you're from St. Louis, where'd you go to high school? And what are you doing here? And tell me about your business. And then it kind of runs dry. But if it's an event where there's more of a purpose and you kind of already know that people are attracted to certain things because of where they got there, I think it really changes things. I recently went to, shout out to Venture Pop, their conference, and they had like a really nice gathering before the conference started. And the conversations were just so natural because you kind of knew that everybody had that creative bent. So I'm sure that's similar with like the Creative Women's Co. conversations. There's just that kind of natural connection. Mm-hmm. Quick shout out to Caitlin Allen, who's in my ear right now. So Caitlin, if I think you can hear me, Caitlin is going to be kind of navigating things behind the scenes. If ever I am looking funny or Ari and Peter have really, really great things to say, she'll make sure that I kind of drop out so that they get the spotlight that they deserve. One of the things that I wanted to talk with you guys about, and we'll get into how you guys met next, but I wanted to talk about something that I think is really a center point for both of you guys based on what I talked to you guys about, and it's what is your take on building like processes and systems that work as a creative business?
You need to. If you're just starting out, yeah, you can get by just doing things. And it's kind of how we all start, because we don't know where we're going. We're kind of like headless chickens running around. But even a headless chicken eventually gets somewhere, even if it's plopping down on the floor dead. But you get somewhere. That's the whole point. And as you grow, you realize that there are some things you will do and some things you won't do, which eventually comes into, well, how can I optimize my life? Because I'm not going to be spending 5 minutes here replying to these. For example, emails are, and how to handle emails are a great example. Because if, for example, you're replying to an email whenever, somebody emails you, oh, I have to reply to it right now. Well, what if, in my case, a big programming thing? No, that's not how it works. If you're in the zone, if you're in the flow, no, you have your process on how all this thing's going to be handled. So it's kind of more on schedule, but it is a process. How do you handle the process of replying to emails? When are you going to do so? How are you going to handle the process of onboarding a client? Well, you need to add them to your CRM. You need to add them to your project management software. The shared file folders need to be set up. They need to be told what to expect, how to expect, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you develop all of these things. And because without it, you're literally going to be a headless chicken running around and not getting anywhere, just going in circles, because you get some work, everything's going great, and then you get more work, and it's overwhelming. But with processes, you can either hand it off to somebody, to use an easy example, do the regular agency thing. You get the contract, give it to employees or contractors or whatever, because you have a process. You can tell them, this design needs to be handled this exact way. You have the creative freedom to do so, but follow this process, which guarantees us these so-and-so results, whatever it may be. And the same thing for programming, design, sales copy, lawyer stuff, pretty much everything.
Yeah, no, and I love that you have that perspective on things, because what I've seen in working with creatives is that there's such a difference between somebody who is very, very talented at their craft and can provide a great product and service versus somebody who has that same talent and knows how to run a business around it.
A huge difference.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that is interesting and frustrating and kind of exciting at the same time, is figuring out how businesses can help creatives, because it's not just about, being creative and leaning on that and being good. Like, you can be the best photographer in the world, but if you don't have these systems in place, that doesn't result in revenue generation. It's consistent each month.
Yeah, a perfect example, which I love to give to everybody, is not client onboarding, but lead onboarding. I've differentiated so much. For example, many people, if you're a big retail business, that's one thing. We're not talking about big retail business with 100 employees that can answer phones all day. That's they can answer the phone in 5 seconds. For the rest of us here in the world, which don't have a huge staff or maybe even a small staff, okay, let's say somebody wants to do a project with you, whatever it may be. If you have the staff or the time and it's a phone day, sure, call them right back or send them an email. If not, well, they go into the onboarding funnel, which would be, okay, well, here's what you can expect from us, either an email or snail mail or somebody calling them back eventually. They have here's the documents you should read before you contact us. Try to get some of this stuff ready. Well, as a lawyer, you definitely get it. If somebody comes up to you right now and says, do this, I don't know any lawyer thing, so I'm just going to mess up the words, but do this lawyer crazy thing for me. I'm going to say, well, okay, do you have this document? Did you sign that yet? Got a checkbook first. And all these things. You have to have this stuff ready before you can even really talk to me. And if they don't, well, that means you're probably not committed to the project. So what's the point? Because part of the process is also, especially on a lead onboarding process, is to filter out the tire kickers and the crazies to a degree.
The shopping people, people who just shop for fries.
Yeah, the window shoppers.
Okay.
Yeah, the tire kickers. Those people, they're very, after a while, if you know your process, it doesn't have to be a written down process just yet. But if you know your process more or less on what is going to be a good client, you can figure it out. And then you can say, probably within the first few interactions, even if it's just email, if they're even going to be potentially somebody good. Right. An easy example with websites is if somebody comes up to us and says, well, we don't have a budget. I really don't know how I want to go on this thing. It's like, okay, fine. We already know that they're really wishy-washy. They're looking for us to tell them this really low ball offer.
Right.
That predominantly that's what it is. Of course, once in a while you get when they say we don't have a budget, that means they really don't have a budget but have a lot of money to spend. Very rarely that happens.
Sure.
Most of the time we don't have a budget means they actually don't have a budget because they don't have much money. So at that point, the conversation really easily turns into, great, we can do this huge marketing plan. We can spend $10,000 in Facebook ads for you. I can spend $100,000 on a sales copywriter. And they're like, oh my gosh, we don't have that much. Well, then how much do you have? It's all in the process. Whatever they say, you know how to respond to because of the process.
Yeah. So. Well, and I like that you said it doesn't have to be written down, because I think that as helpful as processes are, there are certain, if you really process liking person, I think that if you go too much into the process and perfecting it without just executing, then that can also kind of slow you down. So I like that you say that it doesn't have to be like completely like pitch perfect. And when you talk about the leads, and I'm just curious, when you do have those exchanges and you feel like whatever reason it's not like one of your better leads that comes through, would you encourage to kind of still kind of track that and see what happens? Or do you think that the regular business owner is kind of safe to just kind of say, like, we can just kind of forget about that lead and wait and see if they ever follow up again?
That one is a huge depends.
Okay.
One thing we've started doing is we take our preference for projects these days are either retainers or larger projects. Small project we'll still do because why not, right? But in that case, that goes to one of our contractors. Well, if it's a small project, we tell them up front, well, this is not the type of project we usually take. We can do this, but here's in general kind of what it's going to look like and what you can expect. And it's going to be probably a little bit faster, and we're going to give it to our employees, et cetera, but it's going to get done. I just don't expect, an IBM level type design. It's going to be a starter level type thing. And here are some examples. So yes, we do, but it depends on, just like the point you were making, can a regular business owner do that? Yeah. What we've done with that, especially with the lower end things, we have what's the word? Productize something? Consulting product.
Yeah.
So it's not consulting, and it's because a product is something you can sell. A mug, here's the software as a service you can buy. That's a product. In a service business, you can't really sell that as a product unless you productize it, which means having a process for it. See, It all kind of ties together to having a process. Once you have a system and a process for anything you're doing, plumbing, lawyering, that's probably not a word, designing,
that works.
Programming, flying an airplane, you can outsource it or give it to an employee, and then they can take it through at that lower level. Then you still get the project, you still get some income, but you're not wasting your time, which might be the wrong word, but I'll word it this. You will
being productive.
Yes, you're not being as productive as you could, and your time and money is spent elsewhere with you, the head honcho. So if for some people, let's say it is a truly solopreneur business. At some point, maybe you just can't take on those lower end ones. You can say, well, maybe I can refer you as an affiliate. Maybe they'll get a kickback from that, or maybe they will bring on a contractor at a much lower rate to handle that for them and still go through them. So they are eventually getting to the agency type model. Doesn't mean they have to do it now. Like I said, they could be the solopreneur. Let's say a freshman or a senior straight out of college let's say they already have struck gold. They are the top of the line wanted designer right out of college, and everybody's going for them. And some small business owner comes up to them and wants a smaller to design some business cards and flyers. They can say, well, okay, I can do this through my company, but it'll just take a little while, and here's something you can get for that budget. And the client, of course, won't see this, as they shouldn't, and give it to a freshman, give it to a colleague they met, give it to a freelancer on the internet to do. So it still goes through. It is possible for anybody to take those if they want to, and if they know how to do quality control.
Yeah.
Hence the process.
Love it. Okay, so let's step back and go in a more fun direction. Give me the story of how you guys met.
No.
Your turn.
Oh gosh. Okay, we're gonna try to make sure that this is not going to be too long. But basically,
that's okay. I understood.
So, do you remember the time when there was still like MSN Messenger?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it was around that time. I think it was like 2002 or something. I was still in high school. I think I was, fourth grade, something like that. And Peter was in his last year of high school. And we somehow get connected through my e-boyfriend. So yeah, I had an e-boyfriend back then, which is crazy. He sent this like random email to everyone, including his email.
If you don't forward this email in 5 minutes, you're all going to die, and nobody will let you. One of those stupid things. I deleted it.
Well, I was looking at the emails of everyone that's included in there, including my email, and I found his email. It was pretty interesting email, and I was like, that's a really interesting email. I wonder who is this? So I added him on MSN Messenger.
Wait, what about it made it interesting?
His email?
Yeah.
So, do you know the game StarCraft?
Yeah.
I know
StarCraft. Of it, but I'm not okay.
So back then, I was very much into it. Even starting to get on the ranked boards and everything. So I was doing pretty well. So I was, like I said, I was all crazy for it. So I had my email back then was Terran Hunter.
Yeah.
Even though I actually mostly play the Terrans. So
that's lost on me. I'm assuming that Ari, you caught the reference.
No, I didn't know. I mean, honestly, I was living in Bali at the time. He was living in Chicago. So I just wanted to chat with somebody who actually speaks English, and I want to, practice my English because honestly, it was not my native language.
And I thought she was a crazy hacker.
Wait.
This crazy person emailing me out of the blue.
English isn't your native language, Ari?
No, it's not.
You are like worlds better than my Spanish minor. Okay, continue.
Okay, so I added him on the MSN Messenger, and then once he actually started popping online, I was like, "Hey, my name is Ari. I would like to chat with you. Would you want to be my friend?" And he was like, "Whoa, who is this like chick?" I was like, he thought I was a hacker, and he thought I was going to steal his identity and all that stuff. And I was like, "Oh, hold on, I'm just like a high school student."
That's what they all say. The next thing you know, cops show up at your door. Yeah, so no, I'm not falling for that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think it took us like almost 2 months just like convincing I'm just like a regular girl wanting to chat, learning English. That's it. But how was it? Like I think 7 years, fast forward 7 years after that, we're still like connected. We chat like once a week, just gonna say hello and all that stuff. And I got a scholarship to U of A, University of Arizona, to pursue like 3 months of like English courses and stuff. So I told him, hey, I actually got this awesome like scholarship. Would you want to meet there? And he was like, that's fantastic. Honestly, I'm actually going to Poland right now. I was like, wait, what? So I was like, right, going there. And he was like on the opposite side. But the good thing is, though, actually, when he started living in Poland, the time difference is actually a lot shorter, right? So right now, I think it's about 12 hours, 12-hour difference between Chicago time and Bali time. But when he was in Poland, it was like 6 hours.
6 or 7, yeah.
Something like that. So it was a lot easier for us to like chat and catch up and all that kind of stuff. And he finally said that he likes me. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, she's missing all the meaty stuff in the middle of it that we don't have time for. But yeah, I flew to Poland. She eventually flew to Arizona. And then I flew to Arizona. We spent 1 month together, after which I proposed. She didn't say yes. Holy
moly. Wait, okay, so what year are we in?
This is...
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
2009, a month goes by, you propose, she says no?
No, she doesn't say no, nor does she say yes.
Okay. Ari.
It was heart-wrenching.
Yes eventually.
Yeah, she said yes eventually, obviously. But she didn't say yes immediately, which, you know the saying, it made my heart stop. I finally understood that because I just went, oh. She didn't say it because what she said is, oh yeah, you know the answer. I'm like, well, no, if I knew the answer, why would I be asking in the first place?
I can actually really relate to that because when I proposed to my wife, I don't think she minds me saying this. It was like ugly crying. followed by like a very like weak yes because of the emotion. And so, yeah, I think it's very different when you're proposing and you know what the answer is, and you're proposing and you're like, what you gonna say? That's a level of stress.
That was a very stressful few seconds before she actually said yes.
Oh.
But yeah, after a few days after that, I actually had to leave because I had to go finish my master's degree. First year of my master's degree in Poland. She stayed for another month or so in Arizona, and then she flew back to Bali. And then for summer vacation, I flew from Poland to Bali, spent 3 months there, told her parents hello, and then, by the way, hi, I'm marrying your daughter, and I'm taking her away. That conversation did not go well. For a family that has always lived on the island, has never really left the island, doesn't really know much of the outside. I don't mean that in a bad way. They just don't. There's no need.
Travel, really.
Yeah, well, they don't travel, and there's no need for them to care about the rest of the world. You know, we have our own things to worry about. So their family was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, and through all this, by the way, I was staying in her bedroom, which made it all the more fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, her parents were not happy with me. Oh yeah. Okay.
I hope it's
that's the part I forgot. Almost always forget to tell. I didn't say, sir, may I marry your daughter? Or may I have your permission to marry? No. I said, I'm marrying your daughter and we're going to Poland.
You were actually going to include a question mark, but he forgot. So.
Yeah, I panicked, so I didn't put the question mark at the end of the sentence.
Oh, so it was a panic thing. It wasn't like a assertive thing.
No, it wasn't a dominance specification or anything. No. It was complete panic.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so I'm fast forwarding things a bit, but you guys are now comfortably in Chicago. Do you have any family in Chicago?
My family.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, who also conveniently have my dog today while I'm sick.
Oh, that's nice. By the way, Peter, you're like experting and professionally going through this interview.
Like I said, modern medicine is wonderful.
I don't think there's been a cough since we started.
Mute button.
I love it. So because I love just kind of the combination of you guys, let's talk about some of the apps that you guys are currently like using and loving, especially with things that you're doing. So what are some of the main apps that you guys feel like you're using every day?
Fludio.
What?
You want to tell him about it?
So there's a I was about to say relatively new. It is very new. Project management app called Plutio. So free shout out to Leo, the owner. He's gonna owe me a favor. We love it mostly because we got a great deal on it right when it launched. So we're like, it works well enough. We know it's brand new. Like I said, it's brand new. Everything's gonna have kinks, especially software. You know how software goes.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're working those out, but for us, it's working very darn well. So we love Plutio.
And so what is that replacing for you guys?
Nothing really.
Okay.
We jumped around between Basecamp. People love Basecamp. I cannot stand Basecamp.
Yeah,
some people love Salesforce, but I know they're different. Salesforce is not a project management tool, but it still couldn't stand Salesforce either way. It is powerful. I have clients who use it.
Yeah.
Not us. We jumped around probably between 12 project management app things and settled on it because price was right, the feature set was right, and the roadmap for feature development was spot on. So we're like, rock on, and it does work in a modern, looks good enough way. Oh, we did use the Pulse. I hate the name, but the app is.
I think they changed it to Monday now.
Really?
Something like that.
Rock on. Hopefully they changed it because the Pulse. Like I said, I think it's a stupid name, but the app was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
And what's that?
So another project management tool, but based on, instead of minute tasks, it was based on organizing your tasks and projects in columns of sorts. So each project, because the assumption is per project board, essentially, most projects are going to run along the same structure from start to finish.
Sure.
Let's take I'm going to oversimplify a plumbing thing. Get lead. So you're going to have the lead column. In the lead column, you can check it as not yet called back, set meeting, sold. And then let's say have they made a deposit, blah, blah, blah. And then do the work column. Not done yet, scheduled, done. Or, redo or whatever. in the follow-up column, have done it, haven't done it yet, et cetera, et cetera. So they did it based on columns. It was pretty good.
I think if you're actually using a lot of Excel sheet and really good at it, I think that will be a good app to try, especially for like project management and stuff like that. But we just like really love Plutio now because it start having a little bit more advanced feature that we actually wanted, like time tracking per task, which I feel like that is huge for me because I don't have to like go into a different app for our invoicing right now to track something completely separate. So I just want to eliminate that extra step, right? So I'm already creating as it's gonna track how much time I'm spending on it. It's just great.
Yeah, and then other than Plutio, I personally make use more of G Suite. She prefers
Paper Doc.
For document organizations, Dropbox and Dropbox Paper. She prefers that one. Yeah, she loves it because it's pretty. I prefer Google Drive and.
I'm a designers.
Yes. I prefer the functionality and the cold-hearted nerdiness.
That is such a funny give and take between you two because I see that a lot where like, especially like creative small business owners who are in like the design or website or whatever space, it's like you really, really, really want to work with something that's pretty. And if you find a solution that is technically better but doesn't look as good, it becomes a harder conversation. Yeah.
It is. I do completely admit that Dropbox looks phenomenal. With their new branding, I don't like their brand guideline as much, but they've done the implementation of the brand guideline extremely well. So that part I love about Dropbox. But in terms of functionality, I always keep going back to G Suite.
I love G Suite, and I started working with a solopreneur specialist actually in Chicago. Shout out to Elaine Quinn, who has gotten me onto calendar-based task management, and so independent and separate from whatever task management software you use. It's this very kind of easy way of just really using your calendar to say, here's what I'm going to be doing today. And you kind of chunk your time literally on your calendar. And it really gives me a sense of the work that I can realistically do in any given day.
Yeah.
That's good.
And speaking to that point as well, to our right over there, you can't see it on the screen, but we have a quarterly goals board. So we have that. We also, each of us have a daily journal / daily planner that we use. I also use a Kanban board behind me, not behind me here, behind me in my office. So we do use a lot of offline tools as well, because there is just no substitute for the feeling and the physical thing of just writing down what you're going to be doing. So that part helps us the most. We use Plutio for the generalized task management, the mini tasks and the notes and the photo, blah, blah, blah. Plutio and online tools for that, especially Dropbox and Plutio together. But for the generalized things and the day-to-day main tasks, all physically written down.
I love it. So let's see here. One of the questions that I was going to ask you guys is, if you could pick any one of the 3 businesses that you guys are doing to like really take off and that become the one thing, do you have a sense of like which of these you would love to be the one thing that you focus on?
Well, I know which one Ari wants.
Which one?
You want CWC to take off.
Well, I think I wanted to take off only because I feel like it will help other creative women, right? Because I feel like when I grew up and when I start my career, I don't have that support, and I feel like that could help other people. But I'm actually in the process of writing down all of my process for CWC, so I can at least step back a little bit, because people start to know me as Ari the Creative Woman's Co instead of Ari the Chykalophia. So Chykalophia is still my main passion, and I feel like it is lacking some love right now. So I'm going to try my best to kind of limit my involvement a little bit with CWC, but I think finding the right balance right now to get this going, because it is getting a lot of traction right now. People are really asking a lot about CWC with me and stuff like that, but hopefully I'll figure out a way to just kind of step back a little bit, but still pushing it forward. But yeah, mainly I actually want Creative Women's Code to take off more. No. See, I'm confused too. Chykalophia to take off more, but I feel like CWC will actually go on its own. I just need to put system in place and make sure that we got the right people and the right team to get it going.
I'd prefer for the academy to get more, because through the academy, that's where we're productizing everything. My theory of my ideal business would be, yes, we still do actual, projects. We do community things. We do, my end all be all goal, in the perfect world, I want to own essentially a conglomerate or an umbrella company. I want to be doing literally everything. I want to be into cars, into real estate, into investing for others. I want to be in construction. I want to be in a lot of things. And I truly plan to probably by the time I'm 60, maybe I'll get there. But we'll see. So we're getting there. And that's why kind of in the beginning, I mentioned we did spread these 3 companies. And that's why, because we do want to do a lot of things. And eventually we are going to have a real estate arm, which is probably going to be the next one we're going to be doing. And et cetera, et cetera. But I do want Academy because that one is the least hands-on that we have. It's all about recurring revenue. Basically, it drives itself. I put in the content there once, whether it's the new email marketing campaign or the new web course, the new webinars, whatever it is, it'll essentially run itself. And that one is all about just processes, and it does its own thing. And that's why. So it's all about recurring revenue.
Yeah.
Awesome. So is the Academy up yet?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Okay. What does that mean?
Yes, because there is the webpage.
Okay.
You can sign up for things. No, because the courses aren't ready. I've just been stalled because of too much. It's the first world problem. Too much client work.
Yeah, I hear you. I completely hear you. So, okay, what is the website for the Academy? And we'll put that up in the comments.
Sure. Academy.chykalophia.com.
Okay, and let's let's see if
Once these days, I'll get a short link.
The easiest way to get there, just like put cklph.com, because that will once it loads into the homepage, cklph.com.
cklph.com. Okay.
So if you keep scrolling down, it will have the 2 banners of Creative Women's Co. on the right, and then the Academy on the left side. So
nice.
That's the quickest way to get there.
Yeah. And that's one of the processes we eventually need to take care of, is how to get a much simpler link for the Academy. Once these days, but it hasn't been, it's one of those, it's on the board, but it's one of those technical debt type things. It's a non-issue because people haven't complained. So we'll fix it when it becomes a problem.
Awesome. Well, we've got the academy.chykalophia in the comments for people to check out. What's the story behind the business name?
The story behind the business name.
Oh gosh,
it's a made-up word, completely made-up word.
Yeah, it's not a real word.
Yeah. So I guess the quick story is, I was in high school during biology classes, and I don't know if you remember those, biology names for I don't know, like a worms or something like that, right? It has this something Fia and all that different things. And I was like, you know what? All these crazy names, it's just too much. I'm just going to make my own. So I did. And I start using the same name for my own avatar for all design stuff when I was in college. And people start knowing me by that name. So we decided to just use the same name. People already know us by that name. So we'll just keep it going.
Yeah. I originally wanted a agency, corporate-ish like name, so we can seem nice and big and powerful. That's what I want to do. It's the guy mentality,
Yeah.
We'll go through the name. So the name of the company legally is not Chykalophia. It's just what we call it. The legal name is Chykalophia Group.
Okay.
So you wanted Chykalophia, I wanted something corporate-y, so it's just a group at the end, and it works.
I love it. That's really funny, and it gives you that umbrella possibility.
Yeah.
Well, that's the part of the reason. So that it was a fluke that it ended up that way, but it's a good fluke.
I love it, and it's I'm kind of putting your eyes on the spot here, but it's an LLC in Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm. It's an LLC in Nevada.
Yeah.
In Nevada, okay. Because I was going to say the Illinois pricing just got slashed in like more than half. So it's cheaper than ever to form an LLC now in Illinois, which is pretty awesome.
We'll have to do the whole incorporating in every single state eventually once we grow. We'll get there.
You guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely nuts. And that's a good legal question too, of if and when you have to form a business and do the foreign filings in different states. So
I don't. I'll leave the legal stuff to you.
Yeah, we can talk about it off air. And I want to make sure people have a good understanding of like what does Chykalophia offer? Is it kind of marketing and design services?
Yes, we offer marketing and design services more geared towards the online stuff. We do offer some offline services, but yeah, digital marketing.
What do you mean by offline?
Offline, newspaper, sales copywriting, like the old school sales copywriting. Like John Smith, the easiest honestly example
Collateral.
Well, there's that as well. But at least for the sales stuff, the offline stuff would be like the old Viagra ads that were, in the print magazines, like the 2 or 3, 4, 5, 10 page ads. Those
Great example.
Oh, my jokes can get way worse. So don't worry. We're only just getting started.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so that's the offline stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot the branding stuff.
I didn't get there yet.
All right.
Yeah, and continue with the online stuff. There's the collateral, which does get printed, but we don't do the printing. We've learned that one the hard way. We don't touch printing anymore.
Oh,
Too much of a headache.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, a lot of people don't know this, but for a couple of months before Indie Law kind of took off, I started a photography and graphic design business, mostly because my family wanted me to do all of their Christmas cards. And I was like, okay, but you have to pay me something. And even though they were just like greeting cards and Christmas cards and things, I very quickly was like, I'm just going to give you the digital version and you can figure out how to print it yourself.
Yeah, no more printing stuff. It's just too much of a headache.
It's fun though, but depends on the budget too. Sometimes I took on some printing projects, but most of the time I will just like leave them to figure it out unless the budget is right, and then we'll work to create something that's pretty and stuff.
Yeah, and other than collateral, we're now pushing a lot more for strategy, online marketing strategy, brand strategy, and how also nowadays, how can somebody create their brand and how to do their targeting, but also more specifically how to create their own processes so they can use everything they've done, whether it's through us or through somebody else. What's the process to use your website properly? What's the process to use your collateral? Do you just give a business card? Because, for example, business cards, they probably, depending on who you are and what you're doing, of course. Plumbers and the trades kind of stuff are actually a very easy example. You shouldn't have just a business card. You should essentially have an ad card, whatever the proper name, you probably know the name is. But essentially, front is your name, logo, that info, but the back is some type of ad of yours. This much money off, we do this. It's essentially a banner ad in your hand.
Yeah.
So there's that. How do you use it? What is the best way to approach doing your business so you don't go crazy? So that's the biggest thing we're pushing these days.
Very interesting. Okay, so...
Almost forgot to mention the biggest thing we do with websites.
Oh, sure. So, and that leads into my next question is, are there particular businesses or industries that you especially enjoy working with? Or do you have like an ideal type of buyer other than just a business owner with the money to pay you?
Great question, because we've done this for a while and we have a process for this. Cool. See, there's a process for everything. But yes, we, just like any good business, though, our process is developing for this. But yeah, we do have a few sets of ideal clients, though first and foremost is local women entrepreneurs who have been in business for a while or who have been in a leadership or management position for a while and are now starting to come back to business so they can, do the business thing again. Their kids are moved out, kids are doing their own thing, and they just want to get back into the world. So that is our biggest one, and also funded startups.
Okay. And when you say local, how local are you hoping for?
Generalized Chicagoland area.
Nice. Very cool. Well, you're in the right place. There's so many cool creatives in Chicago. That's awesome. All right. Before I let you guys go, I wanted to ask another business question and another fun question. Sure. Business-wise, can you share with us either a hard lesson learned that you've gone through recently, or like a recent achievement that you guys are super proud of?
Hard lesson recently learned: don't take on crazies. Seriously.
You have to learn that lesson, don't you?
Yeah, it's not something you hear it. Don't work with bridezillas. You read all the stories on Reddit and the news and everything. Yeah. Oh yeah, these crazy bridezillas are the easiest example, but you don't want to work with the bridezillas of any industry. My God, the thing is, when you're starting out, you will take on crap work, but you will eventually learn through your lead process. Yep. This is why we have a process. You'll eventually learn who you can work through best just by talking to them with a few times or even one time, depending how good your process is and what you're doing. So don't work with crazies. I think you
can sense that too, depending on how they talk to you too. I know in the past we kind of ignored that because we just feel like, okay, it's going to be a good project, but it's not because they're directing you instead of you giving input and they taking it into an account. So I think you'll get to see how people character and how they're actually trying to push their ideas towards you while you're actually the one who actually is supposed to prepare the idea for them. So you'll sense that and you'll get to see how to spot those threads or traits.
Yeah, and latest achievement, our lead process is significantly stabilizing our sanity.
Good.
So that's a big achievement because we've yet again semi-recently revamped our lead process and our lead intake form and everything. And it is running so smooth now.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And I feel like the revamping never stops. There are always parts of the business and systems that you kind of improve, or maybe the pendulum swings too far in a certain way. Maybe you systematize and there's not enough of a human touch, and you have to kind of go.
I don't remember who said this. Oh gosh, but essentially, this is some consultant's video I was watching, and the moral of the story was any business, young, small, old, whatever, doesn't matter. At some point, your business is going to be growing and expanding in terms of services, and then later you're going to be shrinking down your services, getting more niche, and then growing back up, and then over and over and over. It's just a cyclical thing of business. Yeah. So for now we are getting more systematized, less hands-on for now. And eventually we probably will get more personalized once, let's say we have 10 actual staff or something, right? We'll probably have somebody on the phones all the time. You fill up our form, they'll call you back in 5 minutes. Not now. Right now we kind of need more automated stuff. So we'll get there.
Yeah, and you've got to find that balance and protect that dance of giving your clients what they're wanting, but also letting them know what your own limitations are and them being okay with it. And I think that's why I really like working with creatives, because as business owners themselves, they get your limitations as a human being.
Yeah, and that's actually part of the finding somebody sane. The people who don't seem sane, I'm using the word very loosely, obviously.
Sure.
And the big thing is also, I want to let people know, is that not every type of client is perfect for you, nor for me. And the type of people I want to take on, maybe you're happy taking on. Maybe you do want the more commanding type client. Maybe you do love the burn and churn type work. Maybe you do love the huge projects, and you want to talk to somebody who only wants a small. It's all up to who you want to work with, because this is your business. You don't have to take on people you just don't want to. And the thing is also, we've learned, it's not a binary, yes, we'll take you, no, we won't. It's not, they have to match all 15 million criteria. No, it's a range. If they generally fall within something acceptable, for example, that they're just a little bit crazy, okay. But if there's many zeros at the end of the check, okay.
It will make up for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We call it the crazy fee.
I love it. Oh, that's so interesting.
And the problem is when they accept, it's like, damn it. We've had that happen a few times.
Right. Oh, totally. Well, that's actually a really interesting thing about kind of having a sliding scale of what you're offering and kind of seeing when people bite. But, I think the hard truth of this is that I think, and I discussed this in my group earlier this week, I think a lot of people understand this at like a fundamental level, that like it's powerful to say no to crazies or bad leads.
Yes.
But the reality is, as a struggling creative, it's really hard to say that, knowing that you can say yes, and that's another however much money in your pocket for the month. And being able to sacrifice that, Carol Massa says crazy factor in the comments, being able to really kind of understand and sacrifice the short-term gains as a business owner for the longer-term sanity.
And especially if you're just starting out, honest to goodness, take some of the craziest, because one, you'll understand what is a bad client and what is a good client. People can tell you all times of the day, you shouldn't take on these people. You should only accept, you have to learn what you're comfortable with and happy with. So especially if you're starting out, take some crazy, sure. But let's say you have been in any type of business for a while, or you do have a good amount of money saved up, happily say no. But if you the end of the moral of the story, I guess, is do whatever it is that you need to do to bring the bacon home. As soon as you bring in enough bacon and you can afford more than just bacon, maybe bacon and cheese, or bacon and cheese and bread, well, then stop accepting the crazy people who are just going to waste your time. So, but it's a process in and of itself.
And again, my assistant Caitlin is in my ear saying amen to a lot of this, because indie law, we had really, really strong sales months, and especially this past January and February, a lot of clients coming in, and it was great, and there weren't any crazies, but it was at a volume that we weren't used to. And now we are intentionally saying no to some of the lower offerings that we used to have, just so that we can continue to respect the clients that we have on a recurring basis. Who have
you need to once you're at that place, it is definitely important to either productize your service, where you can outsource or give it to. Sometimes you can't, and if you can't, well then okay, I'm sorry, this project is just not something that aligns with our core values. It's not a site. I don't have a wording or a sentence yet to say your project is too small yet, but so I kind of just usually tell them this project is just not a good fit for us at this time, and it works.
Okay. One more kind of businessy question, just to get your guys' thoughts on it, and then I'll hop into my fun question. Putting prices on websites. Should business owners do it or not?
I know you have your own opinion on that one, so.
I think the only reason why we didn't do it back then, because I think I was just too afraid on letting other people, our competition, know how much we charge, right? But I think now the reason why we put the prices on the website, because we just want to give an actual number for people who just like price shopping, because we just don't have enough time to answer every single questions about, hey, can you tell us like a quick estimate about this type of project? Well, a lot of our projects are custom, so we just put start from X number, right?
And that's working so much better than our web. The great example is our website. Our website's an hourly rate. Our hourly rate is not negotiable. It is $125 currently for this year. It's not going up or down. That's just what it is. You take it or leave it. Our website prices, though, and our design service and strategy, they start from X. And we do give some discounts, but they're far and few between. A nonprofit that we truly believe in, a really struggling business owner who really just needs some help. Sure. For everybody else, though, here's our starting prices where you get the bare minimum. If you try to negotiate that, which is where the lead process comes in, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pick and choose. This is not an a la carte offer. We make you a proposal for the things you told us you need and want. Here, you can't cherry pick out of there. So yes, nowadays we believe, depending on your business, we do think that the prices should be on there if you're happy with putting them on there. Hourly rates, productized services, or even a range if you can.
I think that kind of also help you reduce those questions from people who just they really want to work with you, but they just want to know how much you actually cost before they commit to it, right? And we just don't have any more time to reply to that type of email anymore.
We used to get so many of those.
I think that's just helpful.
Yeah, and it got rid of so many. Oh yeah, can you do a project for $1,000? No, I'm not getting out of the house or out of the bed for $1,000. No.
I think that's a really good. And I think it goes back to kind of what you said earlier. If you're at a place where you're in a place where you're kind of desperate to start conversations with potential leads.
Yeah, that's a different story. If you're truly desperate, I honestly do think take anything and everything as long as you're morally comfortable with it.
Yeah, or not having prices on the website so that you can kind of be more negotiating friendly. Right now, indie law, we have very transparent pricing on kind of our flagship program, which is our like year-long payment plan slash subscription plan with the firm. But our flat fee packages right now, we don't list our pricing because we only offer a limited number of those each month. And so we don't want people getting excited about the pricing and then us being able to say, no, we actually fill up all the slots for the month.
One idea for something like that I've been pitching to a few clients is if they had set pricing, essentially don't turn your website into an e-commerce store, but add e-commerce functionality. So let's say you have only 10 slots for how to create your privacy policy on your page, the flat fee things, right? Okay, turn that into an e-commerce little sales thing, and once somebody buys, it's one tick off of the quantity or the stock available of the product. And therefore, people still know how much is available. Yep. They still pay that flat fee, and they know what they're paying. And then you don't have to do any extra work. Hence the automation of the process.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I like that a lot. With us, it's different because it's less about each product, and it's more about like overall. And so it's not that we only want a certain number of, and I'm getting a little transparent here. It's not that we just want like 10 people who sign up for certain projects. Mm-hmm. We will cap it off after we've received X amount in flat fee packages for the month.
Okay. I gotcha.
Just so that we can, we're saying, we can say, we're cool with getting a revenue stream that hits that amount each month. And then, we really want to focus on our family clients who are with us month to month.
Definitely.
Yeah, and there's a process and a way to handle all of that. For example, with this is not me pushing anything on you, but another idea would be if you somehow figure out how to automate the cap it automatically somehow. Anybody who signs up after the cap is reached, you can always put them into a
wait list.
A wait list, a lead growth generation funnel, they kind of bubble through your whole relationship building campaign, whether they can then buy a do-it-yourself product, go on one of your paid webinars, et cetera, et cetera. Because one of the big things I've been pushing lately is how you can almost always get somebody into your funnel in one way, shape, or form. Because somebody starting at the funnel, I'd say get pretty much everybody, many people as you can into your sales funnel in as fast as you can, as much as you can. What comes out of the funnel, though, that's where the important part is. Let's say your cap is 10. So after you cap at 10, whoever else comes, your funnel's essentially off at the end. So then it kind of just bounce back to other things. Like I said, consulting products, actual products, webinars, seminars, meet and greet, whatever. Some things that you can productize, outsource, move around, refer. And there's a lot to do with that. But essentially still keeping them around. And we've been doing that even with our lowball offers. We've told people, can we put you on our mailing list? If the slot opens up, if there's some new consulting product that opens up, that is a lower rate. If we maybe get on an intern, we can see. Yeah. Most of the time they say, yeah, sure, sign me up.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, last question. Mm-hmm. And you guys can answer this as a collective unit, or you can each give me your own versions.
Sure.
Tell me the time that you've laughed the hardest.
Laughed the hardest?
Huh.
So I know I have mine, but it included lots of friends, lots of alcohol, and we were telling Yo Mama jokes for like an hour. Oh my God. When the alcohol hit back then, oh man, Yo Mama jokes for an hour straight. Oh, that was fun.
Oh, you know what? We were watching that Korean drama thing that was just so stupid about a family, and we just like laughed so hard.
The husband and wife who were different. It's like the Brady Bunch except Asian. That one. So there was a show.
It's on Netflix, I think, right?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't remember.
Oh, basically the guy, they were just like wearing this like South Korean uniform, and then the North Korean.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, so it's comedy, Korean drama. The sad part is it's a very short show, and they kind of outdid themselves in episode 1, which was sad because episode 1 hit. Okay, in terms of comedy, perfectly done. Episode 1 was it. You kind of just drop off from perfect because episode 1 was literally perfect in terms of comedy. It's a little bit slow to build, but then once the joke hits, it's like, why are these weird things? And then they all connect together perfectly, and you're just laughing your ass off once you get it. And because in the scene, essentially, the dad was kind of like the stereotypical dad in South Korean shows, broke, kind of an idiot.
He was a filler, right? Basically.
Yeah, and he was a fill's not the right word. The extra in a TV show. That's how he's trying to get some extra money. And one of the movies, he was going to be a North Korean soldier. As we all know, the North and the South Korea, they don't really get along. So they were filming a periodical drama in the show. So he was supposed to be a North Korean soldier. He fell asleep because he got angry with, he and the director got in a fight, so he went to go to sleep on, and they forgot about him. So he wakes up in the middle of the night. It's like, oh crap, I gotta get home. And as he's walking home, they kind of flip to a random security guard girl doing her security guard thing and watching a TV show or the news where they're saying that the North Koreans might have sent a spy recently. So then he walks up, knocks on the window, and tries to ask for directions to where the central government building is. She panics. He doesn't know what's going on, and then he starts getting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we were laughing because of all these misunderstandings.
Did you guys just stumble upon this, or did somebody tell you had to watch it?
How did we find this show?
We just watched like other comedy stuff because one thing that we like spending time together after all of the crazy work throughout the day, just like watch something, either comedy or something like that. And we oftentimes find the Korean shows to be entertaining. So we're just like, okay, we'll just try this one out. And we just like, it was like awesome. I think I was laughing to the floor, like literally laughing my.
Yeah, so the saying, LMF, LMAO, right?
Yeah.
Laughing my arse off, right? We literally were on the floor laughing our butts off. Well, our butts are still attached, but we were literally on the floor laughing. We actually had to pause because we were just so hilariously stupid. How, my God, it doesn't, the thing is, in that episode, it doesn't stop with just the dad who's being an idiot. The son, who's the main character of the whole show, is a cartoon artist. So he went to the bathroom, in the public bathroom, and he started doodling, and then he noticed that there's no toilet paper. And then some guy sits next to him. He's like, hey, do you have any toilet paper? And somehow he hands him his pants. Why? I don't know. The whole family is kind of just weird. And the guy uses the pants to clean himself and then gives the dirty pants back. So now the guy doesn't have pants. And eventually he starts trying to walk home without pants but a shirt on. And he only has his iPad trying to protect himself. And you're thinking, okay, so he'll cover himself. No, he put the iPad in front of his face.
With his photo.
Yeah, with his photo on. God, the guy's such an idiot. And somehow, and somehow in the middle, they kind of meet each other. And then the wife eventually gets to the police station trying to pick them up. He's like, what the heck? Why did my husband and my son, because they didn't tell her why did they get arrested? Why did they play at the police station? She gets there and she sees the son being naked, trying to cover himself. She sees the husband in a North Korean uniform, trying to argue his way out of everything. And she's like, no, I do not know these people. I think I made a mistake, and just walks out.
I love it. Oh, that's awesome.
Beautifully done episode.
That's awesome. There's foreign stuff on Netflix that's amazing. A buddy of mine introduced me to an amazing zombie movie called Train to Busan. And it's a Japanese zombie movie, but it's a fast zombie genre. It's really, really well done.
Interesting. We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. We'll have to get her into more zombie scary things. I want her to watch, what was... Oh, God, what was that? There was that zombie movie that came out. They're somehow stuck in an amusement park. It was a comedy zombie movie. There was Bill Murray in it, who wasn't a zombie, surprisingly.
I don't know that one, but Ari, you'll like this. It's actually more of a drama, but it just happens to have zombies. But the idea is that there is a zombie outbreak on like a train in Japan, and it's like a man and his daughter, and it's just I haven't been that emotionally invested in a movie in really, really long, since I saw Up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll swap Netflix picks.
Yes.
But you guys, this has been great. Thank you so much for your time. I know we're going a little bit over here.
Thank you guys
oh my gosh, of course. We're going to have to do this again soon, and I can't wait up to meet in person soon. But you guys, if you're watching this live or the recording, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to ask any follow-up questions or concerns. If you want to learn more about Ari and Peter, feel free to drop a comment, and we'll continue to monitor those and make the stuff happen. You guys, thanks again, and have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for having us. Bye.